If you've been sending out resumes for jobs and you're not hearing back, even though you know you're a perfect fit, the ATS is what's probably getting in your way. So in this video, I'm going to cover the 3 most common problems when writing your resume for the ATS and show you how to beat the ATS. And then I'm going to show you a neat little tool that you can use to make writing your resume for the ATS a whole lot easier. But first, you have to understand what the ATS is and how it works. In simple terms, it's a software database, and it's used by employers to scan and organize and rank resumes. Kind of think of it as the gatekeeper to your dream job. And employers like using the ATS because it saves them a ton of time from having to physically look at every resume from every applicant. I mean, look at it this way. If an employer has 5 open positions, they could essentially get 500 resumes, which is, literally impossible to read and sort through all by hand. So let's take a look at the 3 most common problems when writing your resume for the ATS. Now, first, the ATS, it can struggle with certain formats and fancy fonts and things like that, or tables. So if you're using tables, graphics, or too much text formatting, the ATS might not be able to read your resume correctly, and then your application gets overlooked, and and then even if you're the perfect fit for the job, it doesn't really matter. So what you want to do is keep it simple and use a standard word processing format, like Microsoft Word or Google Sheets, or better yet, use a PDF. Because if you send in your resume as an attachment in a Word format, their version of Word might not have all the fonts. So if you use a PDF, it's always consistent. And also avoid using headers and footers, as the ATS systems, at least some of them, they have trouble reading those. So you want to stick to a clean layout with standard, headings like education, experience, skills. And remember, while it might be tempting to want to make your resume stand out with creative fonts and designs, clarity and readability are key when you're dealing with the ATS. Okay, let's move on here to the number 2 problem: lack of relevant keywords. And that's what the ATS is all about. You see, the ATS software is designed to scan your resume for specific keywords that are related to the job. So if your resume doesn't have enough of these, then it might not make the initial screening, and then you lose out and you never hear back. So this is where you need to do your homework. And you want to very carefully read the job description and note all the skills and qualifications they listed. I even suggest printing it out and using a highlighter and highlight different colors for each of the keywords. And then you want to use these keywords as a guide to include in your resume. For example, if the job description mentions project management or data analysis, you want to make sure that those terms are in your resume, assuming that you have those skills, of course. And you don't want to just list them once. You want to sprinkle those words all throughout your resume. You don't want them just at the top, or just at the bottom, or just in the middle, or just in your skills section. You want them part of the flow. And it's not just about the skills. You also want to pay attention to job titles, certification, software, any tools that they mention in the job posting. And what I like to do is look for repeating patterns. So if in the job description they keep mentioning, management, leadership, mentoring, coaching, then that shows that they're placing a large emphasis on management. So you want to do the same on your resume. And avoid just stuffing your resume with a bunch of keywords. I mean, it needs to read naturally. You want it to read, it needs to be read by a machine, but it also needs to be read by people in the end. So you want to use those keywords in the correct context of your achievements. For example, instead of just saying, project management, you might want to say, led a team, in a project management role, resulting in a 20%, improvement in efficiency, whatever, and put some more context around that to say what you did. But a statement like that is 10 times better than just listing the word management in your skills summary. Okay, let's move on here to the last big problem, and that is failing to tailor your resume for each job. I mean, many job seekers, they just use the same resume for every application. I mean, the one-size-fits-all approach. It just doesn't work when you're dealing with the ATS. So what you want to do is tailor your resume for each job that you apply to. I know this takes a little bit more time and effort. You can't just go and hit send, and apply to 500 jobs, but maybe you do, and then you don't get any response from 500 jobs. So what you really want to do is put a lot of focus and effort and kind of tailor your resume. It doesn't mean you need to rewrite your resume every time, but just make slight adjustments to highlight the most relevant skills and experiences for each position. I mean, think of your resume as a dynamic document that you tweak based on the job requirements. And when you make these subtle changes, now, like I said, it's going to take a little bit more time to do this for each job that you apply to, but you don't want to be applying to 500 jobs. Nobody is qualified for 500 jobs. You're qualified for 5 or 10. So you want to tightly focus on those 5 or 10 jobs that you really want in your heart, that you know you can do better than anyone else, and then make a resume that shows that. Now, let me show you a neat little tool that will scan your resume and show you what the ATS is seeing and how it categorizes your resume. And to do this, I'm using a real resume from one of my subscribers. He just sent it to me the other day and he said, Don, I've been applying to finance jobs, but nobody ever calls me back. I can't figure out what's going on. And the thing is, he has all kinds of finance experience, but his resume is just falling flat. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to make a video about this new tool that I recently stumbled on from Career.io. And you can use this tool too. It's absolutely free and they'll let you upload your resume. So let's take a look and see how that works. Okay, so all you need to do is go to career.io/mystory. So you're on this page and you click upload your resume and it gives you a free review. So I'm gonna click upload. I'm gonna collect this sample accounting resume here, and we're just gonna hit open. Ask for your email. I'm gonna put in my email, and then I'm gonna hit send. It tells me I'm logged in because I already created an account, and then I'm gonna continue. And then what it's doing is it's uploading your resume and then it's scanning it. And after it's done scanning it, it's going to send you a link to your email. And then it says, go ahead and check your inbox. And so we'll go do that. We've got an email here from Career.io. We're going to click on that. And then we're just going to hit sign in. And it's going to take us to our free review. And so basically they're saying, hey, this resume review is meant to give you an honest, straightforward assessment. And it does a really good job of that. So it kind of tells you right here, you should be using some more bullet points, highlight important information. This is all just general information. It gives you a few tips on how to write your resume a little bit better instead of using passive words and non-action verbs. And then here's the good part. This is what the applicant tracking systems see your resume as. So they give you a nice little pie chart here where 20% finance. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, I told you that this guy was applying to finance jobs, but he wasn't getting any hits on his resume. Well, here's why. Because his resume is only written for 20% finance, 19% business operations, and 61% just other stuff. This is saying that the resume is very weak and it's not focused. And then down here, it shows some of the top keywords that it picked out from the resume. So we have, accounting, budgeting, business operations, business plan, and then it has some other core competencies, contracts, finance, financial planning. You would think this resume would do well in a finance position, but it's not connecting with people who are looking for candidates who know finance. And then it gives you some recommendations and next steps here. Mark, for professional 12 years experience, your resume undersells you. No kidding. And then it gives you a few ideas on things that might be holding your resume back. So now let's go through and let's upload a revised version of Mark's resume and let's see what happens. Okay, so I took Mark's resume, I made a few changes to it to make it a little bit more finance-centric. So let's see what Career.io says about it now. So here we go, free resume critique, straightforward assessment, same stuff as before. Using bullets, important information is helpful. And again, this is all the same stuff that we saw in the first critique. But the good part is down here where I also changed the school that he went to. Instead of Illinois, I had him go to Ohio State University. And then this is what the applicant tracking system thinks of Mark this time. So now after a few changes to the resume, he's 67% finance and he's 8% degreed accounting. So he's way more finance centric than he was. Now, if we just hop back to the other resume real quick, it kind of looks like this. Before he was 20% finance, and now he is 67% finance. He is going to get a lot more hits on his resume. And that's the power of this tool. It is really cool. It's totally free. And they do have some other services on here. It looks like they'll help you, edit your resume or write it. Those are probably services that you have to pay for. I don't know. I just have the free account, and this is what I do, or this is what I've done with it. And now let's take a look at some of the keywords. So the keywords it sees this time are financial analyst, strategic planning, forecasting, budgets, financial analysis. The other one was just showing accounting, budgeting, and business operations. So slight difference there, but these keywords made it much stronger towards the 67%. And this is all you need to do to make your resume a lot stronger for the ATS, is just upload it and use this tool. Now here's the thing though, one thing I found out, with the free version, you can only upload one resume at a time. So after you upload your resume and you want to do it again, you're gonna have to go into the dashboard and you're gonna have to delete it, kind of like this. So you're gonna have to go back into your dashboard and then click on documents and then find your resume, click that, and then hit delete. And then you'll be able to upload another resume. And so it's a really cool tool. Whether you purchase their service or not, I don't get any money for that. I'm just passing this tool down to you as something free that I found on the internet, and I hope you like it. So remember, the goal is to show how your skills and experiences make you the ideal candidate for that specific role. And don't forget the basics, like, proofreading, spelling errors, those are huge. And make sure that, you have the right contact information, you have your LinkedIn profile. Keep a clean format, make it professional. But ultimately, you want to get your resume in front of human eyeballs, and a well-crafted ATS-friendly resume is your ticket to get there. So take the time to tailor your resume, use the right keywords, keep the format simple, readable, and before you know it, you are going to have employers calling you for interviews, more than you can handle. All right, my friend, that is all I have for you today. I wish you the very best on your next interview. And if you found this video helpful, hey, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.